Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here we have an article from Mike over at Light Reading. I will leave it in the description down below so you guys could check it out. T-Mobile shows big customer gains, promises more. Is that a sign for concern? And the reason I wanted to make this video and label it and title it, "Is this a sign for concern?" is because we've seen this before. You know, some people say history repeats itself. We've seen T-Mobile do this. If you guys remember, during LTE, T-Mobile absolutely overloaded the network. And I can't stress that enough. And I know some of you have went through that pain where some sectors were just overloaded and congested. I started seeing it in my market over a period of time, and even worse towards the end of like 2016, 17, 18. It got really, really, really bad. It got terribly bad. And T-Mobile knew this. They saw this on the engineering tool. They saw utilization rates were super, super high, through the roof. But they just didn't want to acknowledge it on a public stage. They had a terrible time with overloading sectors. You know, I was told during that time there were some sectors that 50% of the day were below 2 megabits a second. That's how bad it got. So the reason I say is this may be cause for concern. I just don't want that to happen again, right? I don't want the entire market to see a noticeable slowdown on the network because T-Mobile is promising and continuing to gain customers to load up the network. Now, from looking at it, objectively from that perspective, I don't think they can add too much more in the top 100 markets. And I've voiced my opinion on that in several videos. In markets where they have 50, 55, 60% perhaps share, I don't see them getting to 80 or 90. Right? It's just too much competition. Is there a possibility where they can grow another 2%? Sure. It's a possibility that they can go from 55 to 57. That can very well happen, but I don't see them getting another boost like they did during LTE. Right? In that LTE era, man, they went from, in some markets, right? They went from like a 30% share to like a 55% share at the beginning towards the end. That was a pretty huge boost of going from below fair share to having the leading share. And they accomplished this in the top 50 markets. I've seen that breakdown. In the top 50 markets, they have the leading market share. In the top 50, they lead the market share by, in some cases, by a quite significant margin. And in the top 100, they have gained fair share, which is the 33%. And now they're trying to get to a higher share in the top 100 markets. So, like I said, I don't see that. I could be wrong. Maybe they do continue adding free lines and free this, free that. Then, hey, so be it, right? They're loading it up. Utilization rates are going to increase. And we might experience some congestion again. But carriers and engineers, they see congestion as a good thing because that means they can spend more in a given area to prop up new sites to make the network better. In some cases, that's what they're looking for. Hey, this site is slow. Well, it's not slow enough. Okay, now it's slow enough. So let's prep, for the 18 months or whatever ahead of time so we don't let it get too bad, right? In an LTE, they completely botched that. They did. In some cases, I know Verizon for a fact, they plan 18 months ahead of time. If they see on the projection tool that site is projected to go that slow within the next 18 months, they already start building a new site or prepping for a new site nearby to not let that happen. So it's more of a proactive versus being reactive. So those are just my thoughts and concerns. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope history doesn't repeat itself here. But, and I'm sure some of you have seen this and some of you will comment, this has happened before. T-Mobile has loaded up the network to where it just got extremely congested. The call rates, the DCR, the drop call rates started increasing on VoLTE because there just wasn't enough bandwidth to support calls in some cases. I've been there. Trust me. I've seen this. I remember when I first joined T-Mobile, they had band 4 at 20 and they had band 2 at 15 megahertz. They didn't have low band at the time. That mid band was loaded. I was lucky to get 10 megabits at 6 p.m. So leave all your thoughts in the comment section down below. I look forward to reading them. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.